Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, the greatest marketing show on earth. My friends, we are here with yet another amazing guest. Okay. I am so excited to talk to her this morning. She's a full-time insurance agent. She's gained 60,000 followers on social media in the last 2 months. Pretty amazing. And the coolest thing is she started from absolute scratch. So what the heck? Let's go ahead. Let's bring her on. Gieshala, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. And where are you calling in from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Gieshala from New Jersey. So tell us how did you find us? Where did you find us? What were you looking for?
Well, I literally was on Instagram scrolling,
Mm.
just being a mom. I probably had put my children to bed at that point. And I came across a few affiliates, and I was not familiar with affiliate marketing at all. Digital
Mm.
marketing, I heard the term, but never really, that wasn't what I did for a living. It wasn't something of interest that I thought I had. So I clicked on the page and I saw ways of how to make money online. And I'm like, interesting. Like I work remotely. However, I didn't know there were other sources out there. So at first I'm like, is this a scam? Like literally first thoughts, is this a scam? Is this real? Is this being played out? And, I put my phone down. I talked to my husband about it. I'm like, babe, I found something online. It looks interesting. I'm not too sure if it's real, but I wanted to do my due diligence. I didn't want to just assume it was a scam. So I was like, let me just do research. Did my own research. I actually watched your video and I'm like, man, like he sounds genuine. He sounds legitimate. He's sharing his story. And I connected with it immediately. And I think that's really what helped me to really move forward with it. And I'm like, what do I have to lose?
Hmm. Wow. Interesting. What a great storyteller you are. You have no experience in marketing either, right?
No experience at all.
No experience in online marketing before?
No, I barely was on Instagram. I mean, I would go to, check in to maybe with family and friends or just, I like entertainment. I like to laugh. So I would go
Yeah.
and scroll, but I was not one to post either. I was very behind the scenes. If I did post, it was of my family, never
Right.
really of myself.
Right. Not a big selfie taker.
No, not at all.
Okay, so wow. And just because I didn't give this disclaimer up front, we didn't talk before the show. This is not scripted. You don't know what questions I'm going to ask you, and I don't know what you're going to say, right?
Correct.
I mean, you could tell me to screw off.
I would not do that, Dave.
But you could very well say whatever you want on here. That's one thing that I love about this show is that I don't know what to expect. And so it keeps me on my toes as well. But I wanted to say that for the audience so you all could really understand that um, Gieshala and I have not talked before. We've not spoke. We just had a moment backstage where I logged on and I was pretty much like, "Are you ready to rock and roll?" So everything that you're hearing today from Gieshala, even the questions from me, are both off the top of our heads. Nothing's scripted, nothing's pre-written or pre-planned. And so, with that being said, I mean, it sounds like none of this was planned for you, right? So, what was it like? You're an insurance agent, insurance salesperson. You work in the insurance industry.
Correct.
What was it like for you to now suddenly be going through education about online marketing? Obviously, you validated that it wasn't a scam,
Right.
and it resonated with you. My story resonated with you. What light bulbs began to go off as you started to go through, for example, our 15-day challenge?
Hmm. Well, I mean, coming from the insurance field, I actually do have my full background is in social work. So I transitioned to insurance and that's kind of where I am now. And that's where I've been. So to translate that to the online world, very different. Me and my husband have talked about entrepreneurship. We definitely were interested in online business. However, I didn't know this existed. I know there's a lot of ways to make money online. So once I decided to delve into the 15-day challenge, for one, my thoughts were, wow, like this is so well put together. One, you can tell it wasn't something that was put together overnight. Years of experience. Obviously, you have years of experience based on your story. And I love how you just put it in 15 days. You shared about your life. You know, one of the things I really cherished from the course is you talk about character. And that's big about me. You know, it wasn't just about money, how to make money, how to run a business, but it was really life instances, life challenges you touched upon, real life things that we as people go through. And I really appreciated that. You also talked about stewardship and stewarding over your money. And me and my husband are very big on that. So a lot of what you taught, I already had values for. And so, like I mentioned earlier, just able to connect with that and see the potential of what I can achieve. You know, yes, there were doubts that came to mind. There were those thoughts of like, hey, can I do this? But all I kept hearing is consistency, consistency, consistency. And to be honest, I would, before I even officially started, I would reach out to different affiliates. I'm like, you know, I would see some that had hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm like, will they even get back to me? And guess what? They actually did. And it shares a lot about your course. You know, like you really care about the people, and so do the affiliates. They actually would take time out of their day, get back to me, answer any questions I had. And that just shows a community that is here. And there's something I really appreciated. And so it even motivated me more to continue the community aspect of it, because I knew I wasn't alone. If I had questions, I could easily hop into this chat and ask, or I can reach out to a more experienced affiliate and ask, and they would get right back to me. So that really helped me a lot. Oh, I can't hear you, Dave.
That's because I muted myself. I like to scare my guest and make them think that there's something wrong with their audio. I think that's huge, and I love that you were able to reach out to people, and they reached back out, and you were able to validate that, you know, there's real people that are here within this community. And you know, my friends, it's somewhat easy to validate things and make connections. Our business page here that we're streaming this live stream from has something like, well, let me check it, 157,000 followers on this page. We have a Facebook group that has over 100,000 members, 106,000 members inside of our main Facebook group. You know, so there's a lot of people within this community. There's nearly 1,000. I forget I was somewhere around 900. So I'll just try to be more accurate and say around 900 of these Wake Up Legendary episodes, right? That are all streamed right here on this Facebook page. So you're able to hear, if you really wanted to listen, if you really wanted to validate, if you really wanted to even begin to make connections, there's 900 people you can hear their entire story. There's 100,000 people, and they're not all active, and they're not, right? So let's just say thousands of people who you could reach out to and connect with and learn from or ask questions. And so I think what I love is that you took the action to get the answers that you wanted, instead of making up stories inside of your head and wasting your time. And I think we do that so often. I see that with people who build and create these narratives inside of their head about, well, this isn't real, or I can't do this, or I don't know what I'm doing, or there's no support, or whatever, when that's just a story. You could literally create any story that you want inside of your head. And if you sit on your hands and do nothing, well, no answers are going to come your way. The better the question, the more quality the question, the more quality the answer you're going to get. And you have to be willing to ask the question and get in the middle of the boat, raise your hand. Can't just sit in the back of the classroom and ask no questions and expect that you're going to get fed And I love that you advocated in a way for yourself, right? It's the same thing that we should do when we go to the doctor, when we go anywhere else. It's
Yes.
our responsibility to ask those questions and get the answers that we want. Is this resonating with you? And is what I'm seeing and hearing from you feel like a fit about your journey so far?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I can't imagine without the community, that's what really helped me to, like you mentioned, validate it. These are at normal people, right? They're normal people. They're moms. Some are dads. Some are working full time. Some are not. People are busy, but the fact that people are willing to help and assist, it just helped me tremendously to continue. I would get encouraged a lot. I would get motivated a lot. They were like, it's okay that you're starting from nothing. Dave did not understand that. I'm like, what do you mean start from 0 followers? In my mind, I didn't say that to them, but I'm like, what do you mean? How does that work? It took me years to get to a few hundred, and so you have all those thoughts. It's like, is this real? How can I do this? But at the end of the day, I really believed. I believed it. Therefore, I did it and it worked.
Yeah, it's so powerful. I love it. I love the action that you took, and I love the process of validating things for yourself, because some of us don't need external validation from other people to get their experience to make sure we're on the right path. Some of us are willing to kind of like take the risk and explore on. It's kind of like the hiker who does the research theirself, kind of has an idea about the trail that they want to take, and just kind of drives there and goes. Then
Right.
there's the hiker who says, I want to have a guide. I want to call somebody in that local area and I want to try to hire them and I want to have them guide me, or I want to call somebody in the local area and consult with them. None of them are wrong. None of them are better than the other one.
Right.
It's just that what is going to help me to do the thing? If I need that extra validation, if I need that extra support, if I need that extra confidence, if I need that extra guide, then I need to know myself. It's sort of like exercise and working out. I need to know myself. Am I going to do it on my own? If I set a goal and I say, hey, 2024, I want to lose weight, or I want to do this, or I want to build 15 pounds of muscle, I need to, especially and I really learned this as a 30 and 40-year-old man, okay, as we grow up to become adults. So if, in my 20s, I think I get a pass, but hey, you 20-year-olds are smarter and more advanced than I was nowadays. There's more information. Here's my point. If I have a fitness goal, I need to be honest with myself and say, what is my track record of following through? Do I need to hire a trainer? Do I need to go sign up for some classes where there's some other people there for some accountability?
Yep.
Or am I going to do the same thing that I've done in the past, which is try to do it all on my own, if that's my personality of wanting, but then not following through and expect a different result? So we need to know what is going to be best for us. If we need to reach out, if we need to find a buddy or a support system, or what do I need in order to be successful? And so what were some of the things that you needed to overcome as you started to even market? Some people say, well, I did have a history of not following through with things, or I did have a history of procrastination, or I did have a history of fill in the blank. What were some of the immediate things that you recognized that you needed to overcome if you were going to be successful with this?
I would have to say consistency. Now, granted, I'm consistent in my job, I'm consistent as a wife, a mom, but something like this, I didn't know what consistency meant until I really started. So I would hear posts 2 to 3 times a day, or come up with different content, be creative, be yourself. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that really look like? So for me, let's go back to my first post. I didn't know what I was doing, Dave. I literally didn't know what I was doing, but I'm like, let me try, and I did. I tried, and that's where it all began. Just literally the beginning. No followers, barely anyone watching it, and I'm like, okay, well, what's going to keep me going? A lot of the other affiliates said that they started from 0 and look where they are now. So I kind of had a roadmap That's kind of how I viewed it. Not comparing myself, but I'm like, it's achievable, it's possible, right? There's potential. So I'm like, let me just keep posting. I just decided to keep going it. And I had my husband as well. He's such a great support to me. So he's a lot of behind the scenes of what I do. So he was always there.
What's his name?
His name is Samuel.
That's my son's name. Shout out, Samuel.
I'm telling you, he was such, and I also have supporting friends, but my husband, he obviously lives with me. So he's here with me. He's watching me record the videos. He's helping me record the videos. Sometimes he's holding the phone. Here, babe, let's move that from the background. Like, he's such a great help to me in this business. So he was one of the main people. I have to give him I have to give him the credit because he helps me to stay motivated. And so I keep posting. And then the followers are coming and I'm like, okay, I guess they like what I'm doing. Keep doing the same thing. Keep posting. And then one goes viral. I'm like, oh my gosh, babe. Like, and so we're celebrating and I have friends celebrating and then people reaching out to me. And I'm just like, I'm just doing what I was told, literally just doing what I was told, not making anything up, not trying my own thing. I'm literally following the script of what you said to do, of what other affiliates told me to do. And it just has been working for me. And yes, there have been times where I'm like, okay, I didn't get that many views on this video. I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's not what the people want. Let me try something else. So I'm like, that's really what just keeps me going. I'm like, I see it works. Yes, there's going to be some failures, but that's not going to hinder me. I'm like, that's how I learn. I fail. I'm like, okay, what can I do better? And I just keep going. And that's kind of what's been keeping me. I've just been keep going. And then I even had the thought, I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever be invited to the show. I'm like, I thought that was so far-fetched. So once you reached out to me, I'm like, wow, I'm doing something right. So it's an honor to be here,
Amazing. We just never know what's possible until we get in there, and then oftentimes we realize, gee willikers, that was easier than I thought. I mean, that top of the mountain or that milestone, as I was looking up there and it seemed so high, now I'm here,
It's true, Dave. And I told you I was not one to post. So I had to get over that hump. I was so uncomfortable posting, showing my face, and then I had to talk. Well, you don't have to, but I chose to, right? I chose to talk. I chose to show my face. And I had to get over that. And now it's literally like a job. That's how I view social media. I don't view it like I once did. So because I view it like a job, that's how I treat it.
I like that. And that's almost a better perspective to have coming in is to view it like a job rather than the business, because and I know that's what you mean is job/business, but I'm teasing the two apart to say that oftentimes when you're new, you will work harder. You're in the mindset that you will work harder at a job than you will in your own business because you don't even know what having your own business means. We really don't even know what the work requirement is for having our own business. So it is a great mindset to show up to it like a job. Like, what are the things that I have to do to pretend that I had a boss that wrote out post 3 times a day? Do this, do that, write an email every day or a few times a week, and make sure that you're checking those boxes out of the fear of getting fired, right? Because isn't that what, so we have to, again, use things to our advantage. Our ego can't be bigger than our bank account at the beginning. So we have to be willing to use things and frame things in any way that is going to help us. One other thing that you said that had me exploding inside that I wanted to follow up on was, that's not what the people wanted. What a perspective. If I post something and it flops or it doesn't do well, what an amazing perspective to just say, hey, that's not what the people wanted. It's okay. It's not that I'm a failure. I suck. Nobody's, I can't do this. I should quit. I'm horrible at this.
Right.
I'm never going to be successful. All of the catastrophic thinking that we can tend to go into, spiraling out of control. I'm never going to be successful. It's just, hey, I'm doing my New Jersey thing too. Hey, it's not what the people wanted. Give the people what they want. It's just as simple as that, right? It doesn't have to be this big where I pile on to myself and get into catastrophic thinking and shame
Mhm.
myself and guilt myself and, go into this whole big, it's not what the people wanted. What are you going to do? It's not that big of a deal, right? Say more about that mindset and how you let that roll off your back like, water off a duck's back. I mean, are you really that, light and flexible, like move like a butterfly, sting like a bee, like
You're
Muhammad Ali? I mean, talk to us about how you've not allowed, not blowing up or not having massive success or taking these challenges and not let them drag you down. Talk to us more about that mindset.
okay. So when I consider what I'm doing right now, I think it's more than just me. It's more than just about me. It's about my family. The goal is financial freedom. The goal is helping others. The goal is serving others. So that's kind of the realm I'm in. I'm helping people, and people are reaching out to me and they're asking me questions, and I'm doing my due diligence to respond the best way I know how. And my thought is, if I'm helping others and I'm teaching others, and then if it's something they want to do too, and if they succeed at it, then we both succeed. It's not just about me. So if I'm not producing something that the people want, then I'm going to go ahead and just do something else. I'm going to try to be creative. I'm going to maybe I'll look at other videos that did very well and maybe remake something like that I've done before. So I'm just like, okay, what's the next step? What's next for me? you know, um, Jotting things down, taking notes, doing research. Once again, my husband, he's in my ear too, giving me ideas. And so I'm just not stopping. I'm not stopping. I'm just continuing. And I really think the people appreciate that. And my goal is to help them because I was helped, and I want to show them that this is a community. And that's just what I've done. I look at it like this is a way of me helping others and serving others, and I want to do it the best way I know how.
Yeah, I love it. And it's a positive, powerful mindset. It doesn't always have to be rainbows, flowers, holding hands, running through a field. It doesn't all, but it's if we can try to find the silver lining, if we can try to find the learning lesson from each experience, and if we can also try to not take things personally. That was what I loved about your little saying of it's not what the people wanted. It's kind of fun, and we have to have fun and not take things personally. It's sort of like the book The Four Agreements, where one of them is don't take things personally. It's kind of like these four way. If you haven't read the book or at least read the footnotes or cliff notes of the book, then you all should go check it out because it's four kind of principles to live by. One of them is don't take things personally.
Mm.
And when the marketplace, which is the people out there in the world, it's just the humans who have money to spend and have attention to spend, they're going to give you feedback based on their behavior. They're not always going to say exactly. They don't have time to stop and critique everything that you do and
Right.
say, well, this is why I didn't like it. You just have to you have to grab a clue. You have to read the room, and you have to not take it personally. It's like, well, if this video didn't get a lot of views, it's okay. It's not what the people wanted. It's not what they're looking for. It's not okay. Great, no problem.
Right.
Let's adjust. Let's come back. If I come to the flea market or I come to the, the whatever the community Sunday market and I bring my stuff out there and I present it and I don't get any sales, it must be not what the people wanted. It's not what they're looking for. I need to adjust. And sometimes I just need to bring the same product back at a different angle. And that's what marketing allows us to do. I
Yeah.
don't have to change what I'm selling. I just have to change the delivery because obviously the way that I was framing it was not catching their attention.
Right.
And so what have you learned about creating content? What do you know now that you didn't know when you first got started?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I want to say going through the content, and I'm learning as I go as well. Like I said, I didn't know this existed. I wasn't too familiar with affiliate marketing or digital marketing. So I'd have to
I'm
say,
specifically talking about you creating content.
oh, okay, yes. So
what do you know about you creating content that you didn't know when you first started creating content that you've learned, not particularly what people can find in our course and curriculum, but
right.
once you started applying it, what have you learned that you can share with us about your journey of creating content, about what works, about what didn't work so far, and advice you would give to yourself if you were kind of on that day one of launching your business and finally starting to market and create content?
Okay, so creating content, I've learned specific. So like it could be what I'm posting about. So people love side hustles. People love remote work from home. So I'm like, okay, well, who's my audience, right? I like attracting moms, parents, because that's who I am, you know? And so I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to attract parents? What can I do to attract moms? So sometimes I'll throw my children into it, or sometimes I'll be doing dishes. Excuse me. Sometimes I'll be doing dishes or something that can relate to parents. Like showing them like, hey, I'm doing this content, but I'm literally being a mom. I'm being a wife. I've thrown my husband in some of my videos. I'm a wife. I'm a mom, you know, and people are they're resonating with it. They're like, wow, she's a normal person. She's doing this. And I also homeschool. I don't think I mentioned that. So
No.
sometimes I'll throw that in like a story, like, hey, I'm doing this, but I'm homeschooling. I'm really what I'm trying to show is that I'm busy. A lot of us are, but I can still get it done. And so I try to implement that in my content to show people like, hey, if I can do it, so can you. You just have to want it. You have, and it's not you know, as we know, it's not this get rich thing, right? So I'm very particular when I tell people like, hey, it's hard work, it's sacrifice. I'm busy, but I'm making it happen. So the way I try to create my content is around that, like, hey, I'm getting it done. I'm still living life. I'm still working. I still homeschool. I still have my wifely duties, but I can still do it. And I try to promote that through my content just to give people an idea of my life, if that
Wow.
makes sense.
Oh my gosh. Well, that adds a whole nother dynamic to this whole conversation, which is the fact that you have all this other stuff going on. So you are in insurance, so
Yes.
you have a job,
Yes.
you are a wife, so you have a partner and a spouse who you're accountable and responsible to.
Yes.
You have how many children?
I have two boys,
Do you mind sharing what age?
4 and 6.
And you're homeschooling this 4 and the 6-year-old, and you've launched a digital marketing business, and you're smiling from ear to ear. Why? What's coming up for you right now as I'm asking this and getting this crystal clear is that
My
it is a lot, right?
It is. It is. And so that's another reason why, like, I'm like, okay, can I do this? Like, pertaining to the business, the marketing. I'm like, can I do this? I work, I do this, I do that. And I had this drive in me. I
Mm,
just had this drive in me, and with the support of my husband, and you know, I take what he says serious. So he told me, babe, I think you can do it. So he has stepped in. He helps me homeschool. You know, if he needs to make the boys something to eat really quick, he'll step in. And so that helps. But sometimes even when he doesn't step in, I have to do my part still, right? As a mom, as a wife, I'm still working.
mm,
So I find the time, whether, you know, I have to create content, my boys are napping,
mm,
or if I have to. I know when I was taking the course specifically, sometimes I stayed up later than I usually would. Why? Because I really wanted this. I didn't want an excuse on the table of, oh, I don't have time, but yet I'm scrolling. I told you that's how I found this. So I'm like, oh, I don't have time, but I'm scrolling. No,
wow.
that's an excuse. And so I didn't want an excuse to keep me from continuing.
Gosh, you're man, I'm really getting more of an understanding about how much of a superwoman you are and what.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, your attitude is everything. It's just very inspirational, and it gives us a perspective about what's possible and the attitude that we need to have if we want to achieve something. A positive attitude really is everything.
Correct.
It really is everything. A determined attitude really is everything. That with those two qualities, anything is possible. Anything, because we don't waste time. We don't stay stuck in our head, and we don't find excuses. There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. But what I'm hearing you say and lay out for us is it's a real mental blueprint for us to be able to understand because clearly time management is not it's not an exact equation, is it? I mean, you don't wake up, every day is not the same. Humans are not robots. So your children are not going to wake up every day and be the exact same kid and do it's not a software system. They get up and, some days you might feel the vibe of like, oh, this isn't working. I need to adjust with the kids, take them outside. And I don't know, but because I've never homeschooled, I have no idea what that life looks like, but I can only imagine that, we all talk about, well, how do I get better at time management? And well, that's not an exact solution, because life throws curveballs at you and you have to be willing to adjust. And even when things don't go as planned, keep a positive attitude. Does that resonate?
Oh, absolutely. There's been plenty of times things didn't go as planned. Children get sick. I may get sick. Meaning, like, there's times I've got sick and I'm like, okay, well, I didn't let that stop me. So, like, let's say I got sick and I couldn't post for a day or two. I didn't let that beat me up. I'm like, hey, this is real life. Things are going to happen. There's times me and my husband had meetings and we had to be away from the house. But guess what? If I'm away from the house and I'll pull my phone out. Hey, babe, record me doing this, record me doing that. So, like, I'll try to find space, even if I'm not home, if I'm out and about. Where can I utilize this time to help with the digital marketing? And so I take advantage of that. If we're out going to the store or if we're out with our children, I'll still try to create content even when I'm out and about doing my normal duties or my normal errands.
Yeah.
So I try to utilize time as best I can.
And I love the fact that you're clear about what you want and need. Hey, babe, record me doing this. We don't get what we want unless we ask for it. And this is a whole thing in life, that we only get not what we deserve, because there's lots of people who deserve lots of wonderful things who don't get them simply because they don't ask. And so you asking, communicating, we always hear and say, communication's the number one quality of a successful relationship. Yeah, and if I'm starting a business or particularly doing this internet marketing and I need that B-roll footage and how the heck else am I going to get it unless I enroll somebody into my vision? And you know what? Even if they don't believe in my vision, even if they do it begrudgingly, whatever, I'm still going to ask for it. God bless you that you have a supportive partner, and God bless Samuel. Okay. Hats off to the man. Okay. The man. And I do say the man, because wow, what a powerful thing it is to support your partner and your spouse. What a powerful thing it is from a man's perspective. Now, look, women have been enrolled and indoctrinated to support us men for decades. So we don't need to lecture you. But us men, wow, fellas, to support your spouse, to believe in her, to lift her up. Ladies, share this with your hubbies. Share this with your boyfriends. It's a manly man thing to do, to say, babe, how can I support your dreams? And Samuel doesn't need to hear this. He's just doing it on his own. This is a real man, right? But it all started because you brought him something. There was communication.
Yes.
And you're following through. you're following through. He doesn't need to, okay, let's go, honey, out the door. Let's get that phone. You're doing it. You're showing him that he should believe in you and should support you. And so just going back to that simple act of asking for him to pick up your phone or his phone and record you doing something, friends, such a powerful thing. Enroll people into your vision, enroll people into your production team, especially if they are there in your home anyways, and they are your spouse or your children. You don't have to put them on camera if you don't want or they don't want, but tell them to get their butts in gear and dadgum pick that friggin' camera up, lights, camera, action, and press that red button and record you. Don't just sit there and watch mama or daddy, trying to make these dollars. Pick the dadgum phone up and record me, baby. Right?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Help me, help me succeed. Help me win. I love that you asked for that. It's such a simple thing that could be often overlooked, but it's like, how do I enroll my family? Well, sometimes getting them involved is how you enroll them. Does that resonate?
Absolutely. And he loves it. He loves it. It's like a job for him too, in a sense, because he knows it's helping both of us, and it's fun. We make it fun. There's plenty of times I had to remake stuff where I might have sounded silly on it, or we joke about it. He's recording me, we'll both laugh. I'm like, babe, how did I sound? He's like, babe, you sounded great. I'm like, babe, for real, how did I sound? And it's great.
Create intimacy too,
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It just creates connection, when you have a partner who's validating and supporting you. And, one of the biggest challenges that we new entrepreneurs have when we're starting something is a lot of times we're more sensitive to recording in front of our spouses and family than we are than posting for strangers. That can be scary, but what's really scary is recording and shooting videos in front of your husband or in front of your wife, right? So if we enroll them in our vision, if we make their opinion the most important opinion, hey, what I really care is what you think, babe. I don't care what they think. Did you think it was good? How do I look? I look pretty? Do I look handsome?
Right.
And make them feel important. One of the biggest, best, most persuasive ways to get somebody involved in what you're doing is make their opinion feel valued and make them feel like what they think about you is your number one concern. And now all of a sudden the growth or the support grows immensely. One of the things also that can be powerful is as we're on this big journey to start this big business and we need the support, and how can you support me, spouse? It's like, hey, let me flip that script real quick. I'm bringing something new into the house. Yes, hopefully it helps the whole family, but after all, I'm doing it, so I'm probably taking away in some way. Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully I can roll people and get them involved and build intimacy and so forth. But there may be some fear from the spouse or the partner that I'm going to be taking time away from them and they're not going to get their needs met as much. So one powerful question could be, hey, honey, I'm about to start something new. How can I make you feel loved and supported throughout this process?
That's good.
So it doesn't always have to be about me, because our attitude is a lot of times when we start this entrepreneur journey is, well, I'm doing this for us. That's not a very good persuasion strategy. Nobody likes something done for them that then gets held over their head. So this is also leadership development. And we have a great opportunity to be able to connect deeper with the right strategies, and your simple, loving strategies and really playful tactics of getting Samuel involved really kind of put me down this rabbit hole of thinking of all the different ways that we can get closer versus further apart, even though we are doing it for the greater good of the family. Because there's nothing more frustrating than feeling like we're doing something for the family, but we don't have their support,
Right.
So let's transition a little bit to what you've learned about yourself throughout this process. What has Gieshala learned about Gieshala in the and remind us real quick before you answer, when did you start this?
So I took the course I'm gonna say towards the end of September, but I launched officially the end of October is when
Let's
I
go back to
started.
September, and let's just go back to the moment when when you found this and began the journey. What have you learned about yourself throughout this process that you didn't know or you've been reminded about?
I would have to say I definitely have gained more confidence. I found more of a drive that I didn't know I had. Um, and when it came to, I guess, being an entrepreneur, I'm like, man, I really want to succeed. I don't want to be a statistic. I want to make good out of what I started. I don't want to quit, right? And I don't find myself to be a quitter. However, I had the mindset, and there are some things that I may have started and put down, started and put down, started and put down. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want that to be the case here. And so that is something that really resonated with me, and it just kept me going. And I have the confidence now. I'm not as like I told you, I was very uncomfortable with posting. And I've noticed that, man, now that I'm actually doing it, I'm helping people. And I naturally love to help people. I told you I was a prior social worker.
Mm,
I just love getting involved. I love helping and serving others. And so this just gives me the opportunity to do that in a different way that I didn't even know existed. And so I'm like, wow, like I can actually utilize what we know today as the internet, in this social media space where before I don't want to just say I was wasting time, but that's kind of what I was doing,
mm,
and I'm like, man, I don't have to no longer just waste time. And I'm not discrediting social media, right? We reach out to our family and friends. I still do that.
yeah.
However, I'm also utilizing it to help others, and I didn't know it existed. So that really helps me. Like I look forward to when people reach out to me, hey, can you help me get started? I'm like, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. That's what others have done for me.
Mm,
And so I just wanted to keep that going. And that's really just helped me. I'm like, wow, like I'm really making a change. I'm really helping people. And I want to teach others to do the same. Whatever I've been taught, as long as I teach it well and they are successful, then we're both successful. If they're not successful, then I must have done something wrong. That's how I look at it, just taking that
mm,
accountability. Where
mm,
can I be better? And so as I continue in this, I'm examining myself. I'm examining where I was then to now. And I'm like, wow, I didn't quit. I didn't quit even when I could have. I just didn't. And I refuse to. And
mm.
I look forward to, the many people that are even going to come behind me that I've helped. And I look forward to seeing their growth. And I look forward to obviously building more relationships with people and just keep learning about myself because I believe in that. I'm always a student. I don't
Mm,
believe I'll never be a student. I'm always going to learn. And that's kind of how I live my life as a student. I
mm,
don't ever want to feel like, oh, I've mastered this. No, yes, we master certain things, but there's always something new to learn. We're always evolving. And so that's kind of how I live my life as a student.
mm. Lot of clues, lot of big old platinum nuggets that you are dropping like a dump truck right in everybody's driveway for them to pick up and just, take and apply. Why did you pick the niche that you're working in, which is obviously the online marketing niche? I mean, you're in insurance, you had a social work background. A lot of people, I asked this question and I've been asking it because I think people feel like they don't really understand the 4 business models that we teach here of selling
Right.
information online, the core 4, starting with affiliate marketing, selling somebody else's product, and then moving into, if they want to, selling their own courses, coaching, events, but also the fact that this information and these skills can be applied to any niche.
Yes.
Why did you pick this niche in particular, and how do you feel about the transferability of these skills into other niches? Can you also see how, geez, these could be applied to the insurance niche or the personal development or social, so many different, social work that could probably be broke up into some sub niches, but
For
tell us
sure.
why you settled on this particular niche and give people an understanding from your perspective of, the transferability of these skills applied to so many different things that they either have a passion for or maybe an expertise already if they don't want to go right into the same niche that you're in, which is the online marketing niche. Give us some thoughts about that.
Absolutely. So I chose this niche because it was relatable to me. You know, although I wasn't familiar with digital marketing or affiliate marketing, I think I mentioned earlier that me and my husband, we were looking to be entrepreneurs on the online space. We just didn't know exactly what we wanted to do, but we knew we wanted to make money online. So that's
Mm.
kind of what drove me more towards this niche. I'm like, okay, I'm mom, wife, etc. And I want to learn, how can I make money from home online? And so with that, I know if it was me, I know there's many others who think the same way.
Mm.
However, I really believe that doing this opened up so many opportunities. Like I have so many thoughts, so many ideas now that I want to run with. And absolutely, like me, I love to cook. So I'm like, okay, like I know there's a niche for that.
Mm.
Obviously, social work, there's a niche for that. So there's other ideas I have moving forward. I'm still brainstorming, but absolutely, there's so much opportunity out there to do whatever it is you like, whatever it is you're interested in. You just have to show up. Literally, you have to show up. You have to sacrifice. You have to work hard. You have to do your own research, due diligence, and that's just what I've been doing from this point forward. There's other things I want to do to, I guess, create other avenues of income for myself and my family. I'm just not there yet,
Mm.
and I'm okay with that. And so I look at other affiliates and I'm like, wow, like look where they started, look where they are now. And I don't compare myself, but I look at it as like, wow, that could be a goal or that could be potential. So for myself, I have all these ideas, and my husband, he throws different options and ideas out as well. And I'm like, man, there's so much you can do now that, once you gain the audience, you find your audience, then once you get your email list, there's so much that you can do with it.
Yeah.
And I just don't think a lot of people know that or even realize that, so that's really what drew me to it. Is something I knew what I was looking for, but I didn't know that this was it.
Mm.
So I kind of just stumbled across it and I'm like, wow, like if I can do it, literally anyone can. I mean, you see how busy my life is, right? And I still do it. And there's other people whose lives might be way more busier than mine. And I'm sure are still out there crushing it.
Mm.
It's really a mindset. And I love how you talk. That's one of the things you talk about. And that's also something that resonated with me. It's your mindset. You need to, if you don't think like that, you have to renew your mind, right?
Mm.
There's a way to think like that. But I think it also comes with your beliefs. It also has to do with, you pushing forward in your faith, however that looks like for you.
Mm.
And just starting. That's the key. That's one of the things I like to tell people is you have to start. If
Mm.
you don't start, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, you can't sit on the sidelines, and you also can't sit on the sidelines and experience what it's like to be in the game, and you can't sit on the sidelines and get coached. You got to be in the game.
Right.
The only time a player can be coached at practice or in a game is if they were actually playing. And I think so often we make the mistake of going to try to find a guru or something to, coach us, when it's like, hey, look, take a course.
Yeah.
That's why we give our 15-day challenge away for so little. It's like, come in for a few dollars, the cost of a, frothy coffee at Starbucks, and you know, see if it resonates. Don't have the expectation that you're going to get everything that you need for $7. It's like, come on, guys, like, be realistic. It's 2024. You can't even get a damn gallon of milk for that, barely. Let alone you want to get a business PhD, a master's degree, everything that you need. We have an upgrade. You bought that upgrade. You bought the business blueprints. You put the skin in the game. Talking about being a lifetime student, you enrolled in that. You invested in yourself to buy that education. Friends, if that's not a requirement, but success leaves clues. Sometimes making that investment of time, of money, of energy, of emotion, it becomes more important to you. But at the end of the day, as you said, get started, begin to go through the challenge, our challenge. If this resonates with you, you can go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll, and you can start the challenge. And you know what, if it resonates with you, great. There's other options to get more advanced training here at Legendary. And I tell people, learn this stuff somewhere, learn it somewhere, because it's 2024 and we're not going back to, even in the insurance industry. I'm sure you have noticed, my uncle was in the insurance agency for decades, insurance industry for decades. And, we're not going back to people walking in and shaking hands and saying, "Hi, Mr. Agent." Things are going online. Things are being done. It's not going backwards where you got your friendly neighborhood insurance agent down in the corner office down there next to the deli. It's just, we're not going back to that. It's continuing to get more technology driven, more artificial intelligence driven, more everything's being done online. So learn these skills. We'd love to have anybody who's listening on the fence learn them here with us, and we'll support you every step of the way. And if not, my friends, we encourage you, I'm sure you do as well, Gieshala, to learn these skills somehow, some way. If somewhere else resonates with you better, more power to you. But learn them, because they're truly high income skills, and they may even be skills that are required to make any sort of a living in most industries at a certain point in the very near future. And so, look, you do have a busy life, homeschooling, insurance career still that's going. Thank you for carving out an hour for us. I know it was a goal to be on the show, but I want to thank you for being prepared by the action that you've taken to come on the show and give us such incredible value, such amazing inspiration. Just a very memorable, legendary episode. Tell Samuel I said hello as well.
Will do.
Really, really hats off to that gentleman, and keep up the great work, my friend.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having me.
All right. You're welcome. Stay legendary, Gieshala.
Will do.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, my friends, you can find Gieshala over on Instagram at Joytrepreneur. So Joy, so like entrepreneur, but Joytrepreneur. 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 Okay, bringing joy to all the entrepreneurs out there, or at least those who want to transition from being wantrepreneurs to entrepreneurs, right? There is a difference between wanting something and actually doing the steps to go get it. She outlined what those steps are. She outlined what steps she took, and what better of a lesson than to hear somebody else's experience laid out for you right here over the past hour. It doesn't get any better than this. Go and give her a follow. Go and continue to learn from her. Go and continue to be inspired by her, and have her as a part of your support group, right? Just how she talked about her having others in this community as a part of her support group. Joy, Joy, Trepreneur. I'm going to spell it one more time in case you're listening. Joytrepreneur. My friend, if you're listening and you want to get started, with our challenge blueprints. Come to a mastermind. Go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll, ENROLL, legendarymarketer.com/enroll. And if you want to get a text message reminder, just a nice little gentle nudge on your cell phone at 10 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, with a link to click right over to the show, text the words or letters WUL right in the little space. See, this is marketing for you, giving people clear, really crystal clear, simple, practical directions and calls to action. If you want to get that text message reminder, text WUL right where you put the letters at, where you would normally type your message. Hey, Dave, how you doing? Just put WUL in that section and text it to the number 813-296-8553. Again, WUL to 813-296-8553. My friends, I'm ready to throw that hat. I'm fired up after that one. I mean, just when I hear somebody's story like Gieshala, who has so much going on, just the homeschooling alone, my friend. I mean, come on. I got 2 little ones. My Lord. And being able to fit this in and not being able to, choosing to, taking the actions, organizing my time, prioritizing my life. I didn't hear at all about, clubbing or going out for drinks or having the priority to go out shopping and all these kind of things. I heard a woman on a mission. I heard a woman with priorities. I heard somebody who has focus, who knows what she wants and is going to get it. It's going to get it in ways that she probably has no idea that are going to, manifest. Because oftentimes when we set goals for ourselves, when you're as determined as she is, we so often shortchange ourselves. We don't even know what's possible. We just don't know what we don't know. But so many clues left about, not so much about how to manage time, not so much about how to, do it perfectly and make sure everything fits into your day, but to have the attitude and the determination. With a positive attitude and with the right determination, anything's possible. If you don't believe it before now, believe it now, because you just heard it right from Gieshala. Wonderful message this morning. Amazing show. Meet us back here tomorrow for another episode of Wake Up Legendary. This is Dave Sharpe signing out. Get out of here. Peace.